Namaskar, welcome back friends. This is step 5 in learning how to decode relationship karma. In today's lesson, you are going to learn about the signification of the Darakaraka. The Darakaraka tells us more important information about the soul nature of our spouse. Particularly, it describes how we are going to perceive, how our soul perceives the soul of our partner. Will there be a mutually beneficial relationship? Will there be closeness? Will there be distance? We're going to explore how to calculate the Darakaraka. We're also going to explore the great controversy whether there is 8 Carakarakas or 7 Carakarakas, which might alter the calculation of all Darakaraka. And then we're going to explore the different planets as indicators of our spouse. What does that mean? What does it mean if Mars is your Darakaraka? What does it mean if it is the Sun? We're going to also explore the house placement and the relationship between the Darakaraka, which is the significator of the significant other, the significator of spouse, and the Atmakaraka, which is the indicator of our self and our soul. If you have not listened to our last class, please check it out. Lesson 4, we have explored the Arudas. Arudas, they are the image of our spouse. It is the illusion that other people have about us and about our relationships, about our partner. It speaks about marriage as a social construct. It was the hog's eye view. How does our relationship appear from a far distance? It is the most external part of ourselves, the Arudas. We will contrast that now to the Atmakaraka and the Darakaraka, which is the most secret detail about us. It is our inner nature. The Atmakaraka is our soul nature. The Darakaraka is the soul nature of our spouse. And of course, between those two extremes, we had the middle. We have the 7th house. We have Venus, the 7th Lord. We've explored all of that in step 2 and step 3. So let's begin with today's lesson. To find the Darakaraka in your horoscope, simply look at the planet with the lowest degree. The Darakaraka is part of what we call the Carakaraka scheme. Karaka means significator. Chara means movable. So Carakarakas, they are movable significators. Their significations vary in every horoscope. In some of our other modules, you have learned about the Naisargika Karakas. Naisargika means natural. So, who is the Naisargika Karaka for the spouse? Well, it is Venus for men, it is Jupiter for women. That is fixed, that is the same in every horoscope. It is the natural signification of the planet. This is not the only scheme that we can use. Another scheme that is taught by both Parashara and by Jaimini is the Carakaraka scheme. And there is an ongoing debate. This debate has been going on for thousands of years, and even one of the greatest astrologers in the past who has written down all these amazing principles for us in his Horoshastra. In his classic, we call it Brihad Parashara Horoshastra. Even Parashara, more than 5,000 years ago, writes that there is some confusion and there's 2 streams of thought. One stream of thought where people use 8 Carakarakas and another stream of thought where people use 7. That is all that he says. And then he lists 8. And then he lists 8 Carakarakas. And he says some schools, they don't use the 8, they take the Putrakaraka away. They take the significate of children away, making it only 7. Why is that? And what is the deeper teaching? Traditionally, these classics, they're read within lineage, they're read within tradition by a teacher. And the way I have learned Jyotish is that both is true, both applies, but we have to know when. When we calculate the horoscope of a human being, we use 8 Carakarakas. When we draw the horoscope for something that is dead, something that is jada, something that has no soul, then we use 7 Carakarakas. For example, if we draw the horoscope for a building, if we draw the horoscope for a country, countries will have 7 Carakarakas. not 8. Why is that? Because buildings or nations, since they're jadas, since they don't have life, they don't have the ability to give life to others. Therefore, we don't use the Darakaraka. A country is not going to have a baby. A house is not going to have a baby. So we don't need the significator for children in that chart. Now, how does that work? We have 8 Carakarakas, but we have the Navagrahas. We have 9 planets. How do we fit a scheme of 8 planets onto a scheme of 9? Ketu does not take part in the Carakaraka scheme because Ketu is Moksha Karaka. He's the significator of liberation. If a person would be signified by Ketu, they would not be in this rhyme. And therefore, we don't use Ketu in the scheme. The scheme starts with the Atma Karaka. The Atma Karaka is the significator of our soul. If Ketu would be the significator of our soul, what would we be doing here? We would not even take birth. Therefore, Ketu is omitted from the scheme. Therefore, we have all the planets from Sun to Saturn plus Rahu. If we draw the horoscope of a country, we omit the Darakaraka and we also omit Rahu. So therefore, for a country, if you read the horoscope of a country, we only use the significators from the Sun to Saturn. This is very important because the planets with the lowest degree, the Darakaraka, would be different whether we are using the 7th or 8th Karaka scheme. If we should use the 7 Karaka scheme on human beings and we also made Rahu for them, what if Rahu had the lowest degree? And then our calculation of the Darakaraka will be wrong. If we include Rahu, we have to consider that for the nodes, we calculate the degrees in reverse. In the same way, like Rahu's aspects, his drishti is calculated in reverse. So also, we calculate his position among the Carakarakas in reverse. Therefore, the closer Rahu is to 0 degrees, the higher will be his degree. And the closer his degree is to 29 degrees, the smaller it will be. Because Rahu, he is traveling through the zodiac in reverse. The 8 Carakarakas are the Atma Karaka, which is the significator of our self, the significator of our soul. Actually, the Atma Karaka is not the direct significator of our soul because the soul, it is not material. It is not influenced by karma. The soul is akarma. The soul is completely free of karma. So what is the Atma Karaka actually? We say like this in layman's term, we say the Atma Karaka is the soul significator. But actually the Atma Karaka is the finest covering of our soul. It is the deepest covering and therefore it is nearly soul-like. So also when we say the Darakaraka is our soul mate, it is fine in layman's term. If you want to get a nice YouTube thumbnail, we can say the soulmate. Find your soulmate, study the Darakaraka. But if you want to be honest, then we have to understand that the Darakaraka is the deepest covering of our spouse. It's the deepest covering of the soul nature of our partner. And therefore we can say that. The Atma Karaka is the king of the chart, and studying the Atma Karaka planet is really important to understand a person's innermost desires. The Arudha Lagna we learned in our last session. That is what everyone sees. That's the image that people have of you. But often the image is very different to what is going on inside. So that can be seen by the Atma Karaka. Any combination with the Atma Karaka, any Raja Yoga that can lead to rise, any poverty combination, any curse with the Atma Karaka, you feel it very deeply. The Atma Karaka will amplify the chart, and the Atma Karaka, he's the king. He will have the final say on the direction of the horoscope. To really understand this, have a look at the horoscope of the Dalai Lama and compare it with Adolf Hitler. Both have Mars as the Atma Karaka. So both, for them fighting is really important. But you see, in the horoscope of the Dalai Lama, Mars, he is in Virgo. So he likes to fight with a pen. He likes to fight by writing. Therefore, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. The soul lesson connected to Mars is non-violence. So he was writing about non-violence, and therefore he won the Nobel Prize for that. If you want a separate video on all of the Atma Karakas, please let me know in the comments. Please do. I will make it soon. And in the horoscope of Adolf Hitler, his Atma Karaka, it was Venus. But it got replaced. I will tell you how the replacement works in 1 minute. It got replaced by Mars, and Mars, he was losing a planetary war. So his soul nature, he always felt in his heart that he was losing a war, and then he lost the war and he died. It is also connected it's in one of the Maraka houses, the 7th house, which can kill us, which is also the house of war. A very, very interesting horoscope. So that is what Parsha means when he says the Atmakaraka is the king and the soul planet is the king. If we go against our soul planet, we will only lose. So if Mars is our Atmakaraka and we don't practice ahimsa, we will be finished. So the Atmakaraka is the planets of the highest degree. We will study the Atmakaraka at the end of this video and look at the relationship to the Darakaraka. Next, we have the Amatyakaraka. The Amatyakaraka is the counsel that we get. He's the minister. He represents the people giving us good advice. He's the planet of the 2nd highest degree in our chart. Then we have the Darakaraka, which is connected to our brothers, also to our gurus and teachers. It's a planet of the 3rd highest degree. Then the Matrikaraka, the Pitrikaraka, the Putrakaraka, the Gyati-karaka, and last we have the Darakaraka. Each planet will be found with a successive smaller number of degrees. The Matrikaraka is the indicator of our home, our mother, our homeland, our happiness. The Pitrikaraka is the significator of our father, our ancestors. The Putrakaraka is the significator for our children. The Gyatikaraka is the significator for our community. And the Darakaraka, which is the main focus for today, is the significator of the deepest covering of our spouse, the soul nature of our spouse. Before analyzing the Darakaraka in your horoscope and analyzing the planet that is connected to it, the house that it is placed in, and the relationship to the Atmakaraka, we have to know one more variable, and that is the Carakarakas. They are movable, they're different in every horoscope, but usually they're fixed throughout our entire life. However, there's one exception. We call it the Carakaraka Replacement. If 2 planets share the same minute in the horoscope, for example, if we have the Sun at 28 degrees and 50 minutes, it is very likely that the Sun might be at the highest degree in your chart and therefore could be the Atmakaraka. Now, if there's another planet who is also at 28 degrees upwards, let's say at 28 degrees and 2 minutes, then a Carakaraka replacement will occur, which means that the planet with the lower degree, or with the lower minutes, with the same degree and the lower minutes, will replace the planet with the higher minutes. This is a very life-changing event, particularly if the Atmakaraka is changing. It means suddenly this year, our soul nature is completely changing. It is also significant if our Darakaraka would be replaced, because that means that the way we perceive the nature of our spouse, it is changing. If that is in our horoscope and we are in a relationship, then that often points to the horoscope of our partner and some karma that they have stored leading to this change, and it shows how all our destinies are intertwined. If you're not in a relationship, it will mean that we're getting ready for the next person to enter who will be significantly different to partners that we've dated in the past. For example, if the Sun was the Atmakaraka at 28 degrees 50 minutes, and then let's say we have Venus, who's very different nature to the Sun, and she's at 28 degrees and 2 minutes. Venus, she matures at age 25, 26. So this 25th or 26th year, it is going to be a massive change for a person, because their soul nature is going to change from Sun to Venus, from this person who is very singular, who has a strong sense of leadership, a person who's drawn to the absolute truth, who is very philosophically orientated, to Venus, which is about fun and enjoyment, partnership. It is a very different bhav, it's a very different experience. So that 25th, 26th year would be huge. Maybe this person could be studying philosophy at university at the time, and then if they change to Venus, oh gosh, what's going to happen? They might give up their philosophy degree to study fine arts. We have seen it before. Do you have a Carakaraka replacement in your chart, particularly with your Karaka? Please let me know. I would love to hear your story. Very important. The same with the Darakaraka. So we have to bear this in mind. This can make a big difference. Now, let's explore the nature of the Darakaraka. What does it mean when a particular planet becomes the Darakaraka? What does it tell us? Nothing in the horoscope exists in isolation. We always have to factor in the sign placement of the Darakaraka, the house placement, the planets conjoined, the planets aspecting, the Darakaraka in and of Hamsa. All of that will alter the expression. However, the first point to start with, or a good point to start with, is which planet is the Darakaraka? We take the nature of the planets and combine that with the significator, with the signification of our spouse's soul nature. So if the sun is the Darakaraka, it means that we are attracted to persons who are like the sun. Remember, the Darakaraka does not change. In our previous lesson, we explored the Upapada, which is the marriage point, and every marriage point is different. Every marriage will have a different experience. But the Darakaraka does not change, because the Darakaraka really tells us what are we looking for in the soul of our partner. What are we looking for? And how do we perceive that soul? So if the sun is the Darakaraka, then we are looking for a partner who has these qualities of the sun, who has a strong persona, who has leadership ability, who enters into assembly and everyone looks. A person who might be either very philosophically orientated, a person who understands the one underlying truth behind all of existence, a person who is very regular and has good routine, a person who has good health. If the sun is healthy or if the sun is afflicted, it could indicate that our partner does not have good health, because the sun is the primary indicator for our vitality as well, for health. If the sun is a Darakaraka, we could feel overpowered by our partner. It could be burdensome. At times, our partner might have to learn humility. If the sun is the Darakaraka, a lot of our relationship will be about our partner. We will naturally gravitate around our partner because the sun is the Darakaraka. It will be very important that we respect our Darakaraka sun, spouse a lot. Very important. Maybe every morning after waking, you can do a little arti for your partner. It'd be wonderful. Little joke here. If moon is the Darakaraka, then we need a partner who is very nurturing and very loving, very watery, who has so much to give. A partner who can cook nice food. A partner who could be popular within society. A partner who has, very good emotions. On the shadow side, if the moon is the Darakaraka, it could also mean that our partner fluctuates a lot. These days, changing. It's easy to pin them down. They might be a natural counselor or carer, or might work in the food industry. If Mars is the Darakaraka, our partner, he is very intense. He's very fiery. He gets things done. He's very blunt and bold. Sometimes he can be too blunt. He can be too fiery. The person will have leadership ability. This person like to give commands. If Mars is the Darakaraka, we might have felt dominated by other people in the past. Similarly, when the sun is the Darakaraka as well. Because the Darakaraka is not just a spouse, he's other people, he's all other people. What is our experience of that other world on a soul level? If Mercury is the Darakaraka, we are attracted to partners who are young and charming. They have a lot of independence. They might be great creatives or writers or speakers. Definitely humor will become very important in the relationship. We might be attracted to partners also who are younger in spirit. They might have problems with routine and structure. So if Mercury is our Darakaraka, we can't expect our partner to be always punctual, to follow a strict routine, because that is not Mercury's nature. If Jupiter is the Darakaraka, then our partner, wow, we'd be so blessed. Our partner, he's like a guru. He has so much wisdom. He has so much knowledge. He will be a great educator. There's so much that we learn from our partner in the relationships. So much good advice and counsel that we are getting from our spouse. And if Saturn is the Darakaraka, we'd have a person who is more mature, who they follow routine. There's a lot of structure. It might take a little longer if Saturn is the Darakaraka. It might take a little longer to find that partner. Saturn matures at 35, so Saturn here, it makes the soul of our partner harder to assess, particularly early in our life, because Saturn, he only matures so much later. You could spend an hour on every planet as Darakaraka, but I have a deeper agenda today. We want to analyze the planets that are conjoined with the Darakaraka. Planets that are conjoined will really alter this a lot. If Mars is the Darakaraka, but if he's conjoined with Venus, this person will be, our partner will naturally be very passionate. They will have a lot of creative ability, people skills, be very attractive. If the Sun is the Darakaraka, but if the Sun is conjoined Mars and Saturn, do you remember? We call it Yama Yoga. It creates frustration. Saturn, he's very slow, but Mars, he wants to move so quickly. And together, these two malefics, Saturn and Mars, if they're with the Sun, Saturn and Mars, they will gang up against the Sun, which is the greatest benefic among the three. And they will curse the Sun. They will hurt the Sun. So now the Sun Darakaraka with Saturn and Mars is carrying this heavy burden, which indicates that our partner will carry a lot of frustration with them. They want to move quickly, but they can't. We have to help them to unlock that in their life, in this lifetime. There's a connection between our soul and helping our spouse to unlock this, particularly if Saturn and Mars are the Atmakaraka. The conjunctions between other Carakarakas becomes very important. If the Darakaraka conjoins the Atmakaraka, this is beautiful. It indicates that our soul nature and our spouse's soul nature, they're aligned, they're together, they're helping each other. We also want to analyze the house that the Darakaraka is placed in. If the Darakaraka is placed in the ascendant, our spouse will have a significant impact on ourself and our personality. When we meet our partner, and even early on in the relationship, our partner is completely going to transform our self, our image, and our worldview. We are very supportive of our partner. And we would like our partner we don't mind our partner even to step on top of us. We like our partner to sit on our head. You could say it like this. If the Darakaraka is placed in the ascendant, because the ascendant is who we are, it's our head, right? And the Darakaraka is the indicator of the spouse. This will be even more so if the Atmakaraka is placed in the 7th house, because that means that our partner, he is very connected to our soul nature. It's like he is sitting on a throne in our heart. The Atmakaraka often shows the greatest desire of our souls. The Atmakaraka in the 7th house, it means that the greatest desire in our life is to please our partner. In the same way, the Darakaraka in the 1st house has a similar feeling to it. If the Darakaraka is in the 2nd house, then financial stability, community will be very connected to the relationship. Our partner will help us to get more stable in our material life. When the relationship starts very early on, our partner will help us to acquire financial security. They will help us to connect to a community, to find our community. The Darakaraka in the 2nd house, Darakaraka in the 2nd house gives a lot of loyalty as well. Because the 2nd house, it has that energy of Taurus. It is earth, it is fixed. It has a lot of stability. If the Darakaraka is based in the 3rd house, our partner, he is a bit like one of our peers. He's on a more equal level with us. We might share a hobby together. We might compete together in sports. We will have some similar interests, often related to the planet. So if Venus as Darakarakas in the 3rd house, we might share creative pursuits together. We might love our country together. Venus is also an indicator for patriotism, for being a patriot. So Venus in the third house could mean that we meet together at the protest for our country. If Mercury is the Darakaraka, then maybe we are writing together, maybe we are journaling together. Mercury is connected to the earth element. He has a connection to massage, to yoga. So maybe we met at the yoga class. Maybe after we met, our partner inspired and activated our creative pursuits. If the Darakaraka is in the fourth house, then this is a beautiful combination to build a home together. It's a beautiful combination for shared sense of happiness. If the Darakaraka is in the fourth house, we really want it to be unafflicted by malefics. If the Darakaraka is in the fourth house, we really love to create a family with our partner. It becomes so important to create a family, to create a home together, to have the shared vision. We both like a nest that we can return to at the end of the day. Often there will be significant events happening related to our home. Maybe we meet our partner just after a move, or after we meet, we're going to buy a house together immediately. All these things are very common. If the Darakaraka is in the fifth house, that's also a very beautiful combination. That means that children will become very important for that relationship. There will be a stronger desire for children. Often there's a stronger desire for children. We have a childlike affection to our partner. Our partner might be like one of our children, like one of our students. We also share intellectual pursuits together. The third house, particularly, is also a house empowered with the Shakti, the third house. But it is intelligence working with our hands in particular. It is more like a trade, like an art that we're perfecting. The fifth house, it is more intellectual, it is book knowledge, it is more in our head. We might like to read together, etc. The fifth house is also performance, Leo, being out, performing, so we might perform together. The Darakaraka in the fifth house is a beautiful combination for being attracted to partners who are leaders, who embody qualities of Leo, especially if it is the Sun, even if it is Venus. If Saturn is the Darakaraka in the fifth house, then we'll be attracted to persons who are mature, who are older, who are very responsible, the quality of Saturn. And we take the quality of the fifth house, who are mature, they're strong, they're responsible. They maybe run a business or a company. We might just debate very dry philosophy with them. We might share very dry philosophy with them. On our first date, we might discuss climate change. Right, that is Saturn in the fifth house. Fifth house has a connection to dating. If the Darakaraka is in the sixth house, then there is this connection between our partner and work. Similar to the second house, the second, sixth, and 10th house, they are Artha triads. They connect to economic development. So our partner might help us in our work. They might carry our things behind us. Here, honey, you forgot your food. Here's your food. Here's your laptop bag. Take the mic stand, etc. The sixth house is also a house of conflict. So sometimes it can indicate legal battles that the spouse is involved in. Maybe the spouse is suing us after divorce and getting money from us, taking away our energy. It depends on the association of benefics and malefics. The Darakaraka in the sixth house can also indicate problems with health. Maybe our spouse's health is not so good. It can indicate that we like to debate with our partner. We like to argue. The Darakaraka in the seventh house is an excellent placement. It's a very strong placement for relationships. It means that our partner is very invested in our relationship. The Darakaraka is placed in the seventh house. It's a beautiful combination. If the Darakaraka is in the seventh house, the partner might have a lot to do with our public life. The partner might connect us to other people, to society as a whole. Usually if the Darakaraka is in the seventh house, the partner will be very supportive. If the Darakaraka is in place in the eighth house, that indicates the our partner will make us transform a lot. There will be a lot of changes activated once we meet our partner. Our entire life is going to change. We might move to to a new place. If we stay in the same town, we might change our friend circle. We might change the environment. Our entire persona will change significantly once we meet our partner of the Darakarakas in the 8th house. It's a beautiful combination to have a very spiritual partner, to practice sadhana together, etc. If the Darakaraka is placed in the 9th house, then there's a lot of fortune that will come to us after marriage. The Darakaraka in the 9th house is one of the most fortunate placements of the Darakaraka. It means there's a lot of abundance coming to us after our relationship, after our marriage. If the Darakaraka is placed in the 10th house, there's a connection between our career and the soul nature of our partner. Our spouse might help us to improve our career. The career might be very important to them, of course. The Darakaraka in the 11th house, again, our partner will help us to gain, to network, to expand our social circuits. We'll also might share a really friendly relationship with our spouse, a very friendly bhav. And if the Darakaraka is in the 12th house, then our partner might come from far away. We might meet our partner by traveling. Our partner might take us to a foreign place afterwards. Our partner might cause us to lose a lot of our things, maybe giving up that which has become unnecessary. Those are some simple indications to think in the right direction for the Darakaraka. We could also look at the houses that the Darakaraka lords, planets conjoined. But what I really consider one of the most important is the relationship between the Atmakaraka and the Darakaraka in the chart. We want the Darakaraka to be placed either in Kendra, Kona, or Upachaya 311 from the Atmakaraka. Because this ensures that there is an harmonious relationship between our innermost desires and what we perceive of the soul of our spouse. If the Atmakaraka and the Darakaraka are placed in trines, there's a lot of fortune, there's a lot of luck, there's a lot of easy communication. The same in Kendra, there's stability that we're giving each other. In Upachaya, in the 3rd or 11th house from each other, there's a mutual gain, we're gaining. So that is all very auspicious. It really promotes good luck in a relationship. Now, if the Darakaraka is placed in the 2nd or 12th house from the Atmakaraka, we have this Tushtana relationship. 2nd house is that which feeds us, which is beneficial, but the 12th house is loss. And that often means that one person is giving much more to the other person. So it is an unequal relationship to how much we're giving, to how much we are receiving. And it is interesting because the Carakarakas usually don't change within one's lifetime. So it will be a repeating story. We cannot run away from it. We can change our partner, but we cannot run away from the relationship between the Darakaraka and the Atmakaraka. If the Darakaraka is placed in the 6th or 8th house from the Atmakaraka, that is even stronger because both houses are Dushtanas. It means that it is very difficult for us to tune in, to access that nature of our spouse. This means that we have to be aware of our own shortcomings. This means that we have to understand that it is not easy for us to see, it is not easy for us to access. And we have to try harder, we have to make extra space in this life. If we want relationships, we have to make some additional space to bridge that gap. If the Darakaraka is also afflicted, we please want to perform some remedial measures to bridge that gap. We also use the Darakaraka a lot for timing. That was one of the main reasons I chose to introduce him in this introductory series to learning your relationship karma. So in our last step, we're going to explore how the Darakaraka will signify the time that we meet our partner, and also how you can indicate big changes or events in our relationship. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Let's explore the Navamsha next. The Navamsha tells us a lot about our sexuality. It will also tell us about the sexuality of our partner. It will tell us about our good luck in relationships. And of all the charts, the Navamsha, it is the most important. It is the second most important horoscope after our normal Rashi chakra. See you then. Bye.